Hello, I'm back. It's Diane and I'm working on some embellishments for the journal that I'll be starting work on this week. These are what I did in the previous video, and I forgot to mention that it will be billed as a Scrapistry episode because I'm using some stash. Library pockets, napkins, and cigarette cards. The cigarette cards I purchased from eBay and I've been hoarding them. I have used very few of them, so I am using them today, so it's a Scrapistry. Plus, I'm pretty much using up my library pockets. I don't have very many left. So I just wanted to show you, since I didn't have the cards glued on at the end of the video because I was waiting for the Mod Podge to dry. So now I'm working on, whoops, I forgot one. I don't know where the cigarette card went for that one. I think it might have been her. But I'll have to find one to put on there. Let's do that right now. Might as well have them done. I think I'll go with her. So they're quite simple. You can make a bunch of them in a very short time, as I did in that video, and then save them in your stash for when you need them. So now I'm going to make journaling cards that I was inspired by seeing something on Pinterest. And this is, I guess I'd have to call it a Scrapistry, even though I'm going to continue using my stash of cigarette cards. I am using scraps of, excuse me, patterned cardstock, scraps of paper for the backs, and book pages. So it's more of a Scrapistry. So what I've done is, I started it so I could practice. This is Tim Holtz, old Tim Holtz paper with the holiday images, and these are the pages that have just the little tiny images, which I never use, so I decided to, and I love this part with the colored patches on it. So we're just going to use this, and I glued the cigarette card on it, and I tore some pages from different books in German to put there, and I inked around them. Unfortunately, they're too close in color. I wanted them to look like they're from different books, and they don't. And I punched this little opening here and glued this old button on. This is from an old coat, an old jacket of mine. And then I poked holes in the paper and just stitched some gray embroidery floss on it. And now I have this piece of graph paper that's all cut to size and ready to adhere to the back. I'm using my ATG gun. I don't think I'm in camera because I have that pile of paper in the way. So now we have a journaling card. There is thread here, so it might be difficult to write on that side because of the thread there, but it does make a cute journaling card. I love the idea of punching a little hole there to put the button there. That's what I saw on Pinterest, and the threads too. So I have another one started, I thought I was going to do. What did I do with it? I don't know, because it was about this size. And I had pieces already, the paper's already torn. Don't you just love watching my videos so you can watch me look for stuff all the time? And I know I'm not alone. I say that I spend most of my time looking for something, and you guys say that you do the same thing, so I don't know what I did with that, and I already have the papers all ready for it. Oh my goodness. Oh, here's the button that goes with it. That's the button I picked, but where's the rest of it? Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness, here it is. Okay. I had the cigarette card picked out. Mrs. Hay says, this is a set of cards called a series of 23 or 5 Bygone Beauties. So I'm going to glue her there, and I have this music sheet from that little Mozart book and this from a math book, and I did punch a little bit of a arc in there to put the button. Again, they're the same color though. I want something a different color. This is in German. So it looks like a completely different book page. That's better. I might want that to be a little bit bigger piece. Thought I had my papers already. I have a scrap of cardstock here that will help me punch a hole. Oh, that is not where I want the hole to be. So I'll put it over there. That's going to inhibit my stitching. I'll do the stitching first and then glue the button down. Aha! Okay. Now I'm just going to put a little ink on this. My friend who, I've talked about her before, years ago, she had really gotten into the paper crafts because of my bind-it-all, and she loved the books that I could make with my bind-it-all, so she bought one, and then she got into mini journals, mini albums, and stuff like that, making cards, and then she decided she had too many crafts going on and had to give up the paper crafts. So she gave me a lot of her paper crafting supplies. And one of the items that she gave me was this piercing mat. I never got into paper piercing. And it's from Stampin' Up. She had the mat and several sets of piercing patterns. And I've never used it. But I got it out for this so that I could pierce the holes for the embroidery on this. The slow stitching or hand stitching. And I used embroidery floss on the first one, but I think I'm going to use silk ribbon on this one just to see how that looks. I have a lot of silk ribbon left over from probably the 90s when silk ribbon was a crafting fad. I did some silk ribbon embroidery. Shouldn't be gluing on that piercing mat. Okay, now on the other one I waited a little bit before I pierced to let it dry. Maybe I should do that again. I can start collaging on another piece while I let this dry a little bit. It is fast drying glue, so it won't take long. And I thought instead of using a cigarette card for all of them, I could use some of these really neat images that are on these German book pages. It's very brittle, so these images have to be glued down. This one might be too big, or maybe not. So you can take an idea that you get from Pinterest or YouTube or anything, and like I pretty much copied it here, but you can take that and go with it and make up your own ideas too. You could probably just use a needle without piercing the holes, but since I have the piercer and I just used my Tim Holtz little tool that I use to punch holes in my bindings, since I have them, I might as well use them. So I didn't measure or anything. The one I saw on Pinterest was more even. So they measured it, I think, but I didn't. I like that uneven look, so I'm just going to start by piercing holes, and I don't know why my air conditioner just shut off. Must be it's on the economy. Okay. I have a needle all threaded, if it stayed threaded. Yep, here it is. And I have this purple silk ribbon. So I'm going to go through the back and out, and I'm going to leave enough in the back that I can tie it, because I'm going to go down and then up, and you will see what I mean. So I just go to the opposite hole, and then I'll go in a zigzag pattern. Except it doesn't look like a zigzag pattern, it looks like diagonal lines. But we will, oh, almost lost my ribbon. We will make it a zigzag pattern when we go back up. So now I'm going to go up, back into the hole that I just came out of. This is slippery, so you have to make sure that you're keeping your needle on that. And there we have the zigzag. So now I'm going to go back up to here. So you're creating a zigzag on the back and on the front. And it's very quick. This is not complicated. But what a nice bit of interest it adds to that card. I like it in the silk ribbon. Okay, now I will cut this and tie it. On this one I didn't leave enough, can't show you, I covered it. I didn't leave enough at the beginning to tie it, so I ended up gluing the ends of the thread down. Which might be better to do anyway, because you're going to end up with a little bit of a knot under your backing paper this way. And I can glue this button on right here. I'm going to put some thread in there. Should I use ribbon here too? No, I think I'll just use some white embroidery floss. This I don't need the needle for. I just put it down in the hole and up the other hole and tie a knot. And I'll use my glossy accents to glue the button down. This is, I think it's the same size, 3.5 by 5.5. Yep. Same size as that one. This piece is already cut 5.5 long. I just need to cut it 3.5 wide. And punch the corners. And when that button's good and dry, I will glue that to the back. Let's do this one. I think I will use floss for this one. And I don't know if I want to do it down here or if I want to do something up here. I think I'm going to do a different design up here. And I'm marking it in pencil. Let's hope I got all the holes marked. There's the center. I might put a tiny little button in there. It's definitely not even. So for that one I have that. I'm marking a hole for each of the holes that are near the center. This one. This one and that one. It's not going to look even at all. Like I didn't want it to, but 1, 2, that's not how I want it. This has to go this way. I got an extra hole there now. This is not how I wanted it to be. But let's just do it and see what happens. get the end of this floss out. I might end up with some extra holes in there, so I think I'm going to have to make new ones. Embroidery floss has 6 strands, and you can remove some of the strands, but I'm going to leave all 6. Alright, so I guess I'll start here. I'm not going to stitch through the center hole because I think I'm just going to put a button there and go out. And I'm going to go to the next hole around the center and go out. Oops. I might not like this at all. Just looks very random. The idea was there, the execution not so much. Yeah, that's very funky. Let's do some more. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it'll make it worse. Whoops, that's the center. This is so weird. Okay, let's find a little button for it and see if that helps the situation any. I like those colors. Too big. And that's too big. not even going to put any thread in that one. You can probably hear my air conditioner came on. It got kind of hot in here before it came on. Oops. Okay. That's not so bad. A little wonky, but so are these. Okay. Cut the backing for this later. Let's do one more. I have one of these Tim Holtz puncher thingies, but it's starting to shred right here, but it's still good. I'm still using it, but I picked this up at a yard sale for 50 cents. Can't beat that. All right, let's go back to the cigarette card. I have butterflies, but they're horizontal. But I could do horizontal, right? I don't like that color though with the background. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? I think I want something with pink to bring this pink out more. This is a math book. I like it like this. I can do the stitching on that side. Okay, I'm gonna punch again. I'm gonna flip it over this way because I think it's easier for me to do it this side. I think a light color. So I just go side to side, side to side to side. That's the last hole. So now I'm going to go back up to that one. Except, that's not going to work. I have to do it on this side. My number of holes was uneven. Threw me for a loop there for a minute. I hope that doesn't mean I'm going to end up on the top of the card instead of on the bottom, but that's probably what it means. Nope, we're good. I stitched over that tail I left. All I have to do is pull it out and free it, and I can tie my knot. And cut a piece of paper to put on the back. So that's 4. Do we want a button on this one? This one already has some vintage thread in it. Okay, that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the library pockets and the journaling cards that we made today. And I hope that you will try something similar. Hope that you were inspired. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.